Here are the four aces. Look, there's one right there, and another one next to it. If you look at those two, well, you missed the one on the table. And if you missed the one on the table, then you definitely missed your father when he decided to leave you because he found out you were a magician. Oh, you think you got what it takes to do that card trick? You think you could do that card trick, Holmes? You think you could do that card trick? Well, prepare your anus because this one is a little bit difficult. Might I remind you of the PigCake Magic Academy? That's right, look at that fat list right there. You got a bunch of stuff, all the tutorials that you get access to the moment you sign up. For the price of one White Claw a month, you get over 1,200 videos going over card stuff, coin stuff. 2 White Claws a month would get you access to the mentalism stuff. That's the real secret. I would say that's the good stuff, but everything is the good stuff. So you could find all of that out by clicking in the description section below and joining the Academy today. I've only gotten rave reviews. So that trick is very annoying to do. Why? Because you're going to need to do palms as you're moving the deck from one hand to the other. But you're capable of it, especially as a PigCake Academy member. So here is the actual technique. We're going to need the aces in the bottom of the deck. Today I'm using what has to be the worst conditioned bicycle deck of all playing cards, just to show you that you could do whatever you need to do with the deck that you currently have. Now, if you want, you could take the third ace from the face and turn it to a face down position. You're going to see how that works in a little bit, but here's how you start the trick. You take the cards in your right hand and you point out the many aces you have in the table. They're going to go, wow, you're retarded. And you go, watch. Now, here's where you're going to produce the first ace. The way we do this is by pressing with our ring finger against the deck. And by pressing with the ring finger, you see what that does is that separates that card from the rest of the deck. Now notice, if I transfer the deck to my left hand while keeping this action and this pressure, I now have a card in my right hand. Look at you, you're palming. So this is taking place as I transfer the deck to my left hand to reach and produce the ace. This is all that's taking place. Right here, transferring the deck, the cards in my hand. Of course, I could just reach over to this non-existing space and pull out apparently an ace from nowhere. Now, how you hold the card is also going to be up to you. You could hold the card in this way. You could hold the card in what's known as a tenkai palm. You could hold it in what's known as a lateral palm, or you could hold it just in your hand and just grab it apparently from the table. It doesn't matter because you're only holding the card in your hand for a little bit of time anyways. So you're going to produce that first ace, and at the same time, look at what's happening with my dirty left hand. I'm using my forefinger to buckle this card. That separates it from the rest of the deck. Now I could stick my little pinky in there in preparation for the next production. The next production is going to be very simple. I'm just simply going to take the card from my hand and quickly pretend to pull it from the table. Now I do this as I grab the deck, so I'm grabbing all the cards above the break, turning my hand, and then just allowing the card to drop to my fingertips as I apparently swipe it from the table. That's it. Some people could consider this maybe a cop, right? A cop technique where you just hide the card there. I warned you this was going to be advanced and virgin-y. However, I consider it just holding the card in my hand. But you have the misdirection of the first production. So you produce the first card, I'm buckling, I drop this card, the attention's here. I can then transfer the deck to my right hand, apparently pull that card from the table, and now I have another production. Now, as I'm producing that card, I'm doing the same move again. I'm using my ring finger to separate that card from the rest of the pack. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these and then reach over. So notice how I place this on top of the deck. I'm going to reach over and grab this one at the same time dropping that card on the table. So now I could show the audience these two cards and say, well, if you're looking at these two, you missed the one on the table. And they're going to go, whoa, my parents gave me thalidomide as a child. I'm more reactive to magic tricks because of that. I'm missing an eye. So again, one more time, all that's taking place is I'm separating that card from the rest of the pack, which is going to allow me to drop that card a lot easier on the table. I'm going to reach over, grab this ace, place it on top of the deck, grab this ace, place it on top of the deck. And now as I bring these two up, that card is already on the table. Now, as the attention is on that card, I'm going to do the same move again. Look at that. That move's being repeated so many times. So you might as well do your ring finger pull-ups, right? I suggest inside of your mother, because as the attention is on this card, I'm going to turn these aces over, and as I turn these aces over, I'm just going to deposit that final ace on top. So at speed, the movement just looks like this. That's it. So I'm placing the deck down, and now I have the 3 aces in my hand. But do keep in mind that you have the ample misdirection of a card that was just produced on a table, and all you're doing is just adding that card secretly to the pack. And now here, you could do this very skillful double lift. Notice that I'm seemingly holding on to 1 card. Really, I'm holding on to 2 cards here. This is a Stuart Gordon double lift. All I'm doing here is I'm taking this ace from the bottom, flipping it over. At the same time, I'm turning these 2 over as 1. So I'm using my thumb to slide down the length of the card. And here I'm in a nice position where I'm supposedly only holding 2 cards. Really, I'm holding this last ace here. Now, there are a bunch of different ways to approach this. One way is that if you set up the cards beforehand so that the aces are black and then red, so in this case, the preparation would be as follows. And you're going through the motions of the production. So you produce this one, you produce this one, you're doing a separation move. As you're taking the cards, that one gets produced from the table. You're then sneaking this one on top as you place the cards aside. You're going to be left with a red ace. And now when you do the actions of the movement, the red ace is going to be here. So what this allows you to do is to apparently pretend to pick up this ace and place it between the black aces. So the misdirection, especially your body, you're following the ace and you're placing it over here. So now you're going to get another moment where there's this weird kickback sort of effect, because now you've managed to produce both aces from apparently 1. So the impression that I'm giving is that I'm picking this one up and placing it here. My attention is going to be on this ace. However, that ace is never moving, and all I'm doing is just simply placing this card on top. And as I place it here, as I place this double card here, I'm just separating them. So now I get a production there. Or if you want, you could just do something like this, where that card appears from nowhere. All I'm doing there is I'm just using my middle finger to push up the card. At the same time, I'm holding this one. So it looks like that card gets produced, and I could show all the aces to have come from absolutely nowhere. I told you this was going to be a very difficult card trick. You're going to need to get your angles down, especially for the first couple productions. But if they're looking at you from front to back, like you should wipe front to back. Can you believe that some people wipe back to front? What are you trying to get, a UTI? You're trying to get a dookie on your pee-pee? You should be better.
Be better. Be better. Be better. Be better.
But if you manage your angles, you get a nice little invisible production of the 4 aces. Apparently, they come from absolutely nowhere. And the misdirection is strong because one covers the other, covers the other, covers the other. So you get this weird back and forth action. Speaking of this particular hand move, if you ever want to seem like you know what you're doing and you're dancing around a bunch of 85-year-old Cubans, just do this as you move from side to side, and they're going to think that you know how to dance. Really? You don't know what you're doing. You're just doing this thing that you just randomly found in a YouTube video once. Add a little head flip, and then they're going to think that you've been practicing salsa for the past 37 years. Oh boy, oh boy. Advice here at the end of the video. I've been convinced to go to Blackpool, England this year again. Unfortunately, it's a costly endeavor, so make sure to join the PigCake Magic Academy. Do that. But Peter Turner has convinced me to go again this year to the Blackpool Magic Convention, and I will be attending that. So if you are going to go there, feel free to say hi. I'm probably going to be a little bit drunk. I do have to warn you. So if you get this weird, oh my God, never meet your heroes. I met PigCake, this YouTube magic tutorial superstar, and he was nothing but mean to me. So it's the drinking. It's not me. I'm usually a very nice person. But last time I went to England, I was given a lot of beverages, and I was a different animal, but the same beast.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.